Zid. Ever heard that word before? It's a little unusual, right? But believe it or not, it might just hold the key to unlocking some truly extraordinary potential. It's all about a kind of stubborn, relentless persistence that can help you achieve, well, almost anything. So let's dive in and figure out how you can harness this incredible force in your own life.
All right, let's start with a pretty challenging question. And I want you to be honest with yourself. Are you living your life like 95% of the people on this planet? It sounds simple, but your answer could reveal a lot about whether you're really on the path to your dreams or on a path of just settling.
You know, this slide really captures something we've all been through. When we were kids, we had this amazing zid, this stubborn iron will to just not quit until we got what we wanted. But as we get older, we're taught to be sensible. But what if sensible is really just another word for compromising on our biggest, wildest dreams?
And that really is the central question here, isn't it? Is our so-called adult sensibility just a mask we wear to hide the fact that we're compromising? Are we slowly but surely trading our ambitions for a life of just settling for less than what we're truly capable of?
The tough reality is, for so many of us, that stubborn, persistent inner child gets silenced. We start following the well-worn path of that 95%, the path of compromise. We end up trading our unique, vibrant passions for a spot in a gray, faceless crowd.
And what are the chains that hold us back? Come on, you know them. They're the same for all of us. I don't have the money. I just don't have the time. I'm just too tired. I don't have the energy. These are the dream killers, the excuses that convince us that compromise is the only option we have.
So I've got to ask you again and really think about this. Are you making these same compromises? Are you letting these same old excuses write the story of your one precious life?
But look, it does not have to be this way. Let's look at a real-world example of someone who just flat-out refused to compromise, someone whose entire life is a masterclass in the power of zid. So our story starts with a young kid with this singular, burning passion. At just 8 years old, he joined a local football team. His dedication, his zid, was so fierce that by the time he was a teenager, he was already playing at the highest levels. Every single achievement was powered by that relentless drive.
And this was his whole mindset. Practice didn't stop when the coach said so. No. He was out there on the field while most of the world was still asleep, driven by this stubborn, unshakable goal to write his own name into the history books.
By 2003, the world was starting to take notice, big time. Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs on the planet, signed him for a staggering 103 crore rupees. That's over 12 million euros. This was the first major payback for his investment of all that sweat and hard work. But that was just the beginning. A few years later, his value just skyrocketed. Real Madrid signed him for a record-breaking 850 crore rupees. That's around 94 million euros. That kid's zid had turned him into one of the most valuable athletes in the world. And of course, I'm sure you guessed it, that boy was Cristiano Ronaldo. He wasn't born a superstar. He was just an ordinary kid who, through an absolutely extraordinary level of zid, transformed himself into a global icon.
Ronaldo's story is absolutely inspiring. But the point here isn't just to admire him from a distance. It's to realize that the very same force that propelled him to greatness actually exists inside every single one of us. It's all about finding that little spark within you and fanning it into a roaring flame.
So, let's get crystal clear on what zid really is. It is not about being mindlessly stubborn. No, it's that inner fire, that resilient voice inside you that says, get up every single time you're knocked down by failure or doubt. It is the engine of your comeback story. So how do you actually unleash your zid? Okay, step 1, you have to listen to that inner spark, especially when the rest of the world is telling you to just give up. Step 2, you command yourself to get up after every single fall. Step 3, you start to see your obstacles not as walls, but as fuel for your fire. And step 4, you just don't stop. You don't stop until you have conquered your goal. Period.
There's this beautiful line of poetry that just captures this defiant spirit perfectly. It says, "The storms are stubborn to strike lightning, but I am also stubborn to build my home right there." That is Zinor Ansarut.
And here's another powerful way to think about it. Even storms are defeated where the ships are stubborn to sail on. Your persistence, your zid, can literally outlast any storm that life decides to throw your way.
You know, in the end, it all comes down to a fundamental choice. You can choose to accept the story that you think fate has written for you. Or you can choose to cultivate a zid so powerful that it basically forces destiny to rewrite your story according to your will. So I'm going to leave you with a question to carry with you.
What is your ZID? What is that one great ambition, that one core dream for which you are willing to fight, to endure, to persist, no matter what comes your way? Find it, and then never let it go.